So we're going to actually make a significant step in our app here that is actually going to up the complexity quite a lot, as we're going to see later on. We want to go ahead and remove the ability for the user to enter the whole answer and instead provide the user with a whole list of choices to choose from. So basically turn it from a short answer or a free response into a multiple choice style of question. For now, it's going to be really simple and actually kind of bad functionality-wise, but in the next video, we're going to go ahead and kind of straighten out how we might deal with multiple answers. So what we would like to do is get rid of the text box as well as the answer button. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those two components out. But before I delete the answer button, I would like to actually kind of keep some of this code here. The two pieces that I really want are these two things that we set the success label to. The rest of this really isn't going to matter anymore, so we're going to go ahead and delete the answer button, and that will get rid of that code. Okay, so what we would like to do instead is to bring in a ListPicker. And we've maybe seen this just a little bit before, but essentially this will be populated with a series of choices, so it looks like a button, but it's kind of a specialized button. When the user clicks on that, it will pull up a list of choices, and the choices that we want are going to be those that are in our like our answer choices already in the blocks. So let's go ahead and adjust this real quick. We'll call this answer list picker, and we'll go ahead and change the text to something like choose your answer. And where that's down here. Choose answer. Okay. Before we move further, I want to look just at this property right here, which it says elements from string. And basically what this means is that the answer choices that are in the list picker component, we could just type them in here as separated by commas, although we're not going to do that because we want those answers to change kind of constantly. But the elements I want you to be thinking about right now as the things that are going to appear in the drop down for the list. So let's look at what that's going to look like. So over here, we're going to go ahead and grab two pieces of events, or two events that are going to be related to the answer list picker. And those two are after picking and before picking. So we'll go ahead and pull one of each out. And basically what these are, when the user clicks on the list picker button, whatever's in this block is going to get executed. And then after the user has made a choice and they go back into the app, here are the actions to follow. So really what we want to do is we want this answer list picker before picking to basically populate the answer choices into the list. And then after picking, we want to check to see if it was the correct answer. So the things that we're going to put into our list are our names of our celebrities, which you'll remember are up here. And so that was the answers list. And so we're going to take each of these items right here and turn them into the elements in the list picker. So the way you would do that is to go back over to the answer list picker, and essentially we're going to choose a set block. And the one that we're interested in is the elements. So we'll go ahead and drop that in. And what we want to do is basically set it to a list. So I pass that a list. And the list that I'm interested in, of course, is the list of names. So we'll go ahead and grab the answers list. Unfortunately, that's kind of far away, so bring it down here. Okay. Holy smokes. Okay, so what this does is, and I put it in the after picking. Hello, it must be tired. So essentially before we pick, once we click the button, it's going to go ahead and populate all of those list elements into there. And we can check that in our app. We can just jump over to our emulator really quick. And this is what it currently looks like. And so we'll go ahead and click the choose answer. And you can see that basically we get the list of names as choices, and then the user would just, choose one of those, and then it would come back. So that after picking event just happened. So let's jump back and control that behavior now. So let's go ahead and adjust the after picking. The goal here is for us to really basically check the answer that the user provided, see if it's correct. And if it's correct, then we'll go ahead and give them the success message. And if it's wrong, then we'll give them the failure message. So you notice kind of in the way I was talking about that, we're really dealing with a, oops, that's the wrong block, an if-then statement. And in this case, not just an if-then, but an if-then-else, because we want to have kind of two different pathways that we can take. So what we would really like to do is find out which element the user selected, and we can find that by clicking on the ListPicker. And there is a property of the ListPicker that is the current selection. So basically find out what the user selected. And we want to check to see if that is equal, kind of much like we did when we were doing it with the user providing the text-based answer, to see if that's exactly the same as the current index in answers list. So what we would like to do is, again, choose this, and we want to select the item in that list. So that's up here. And the list that we want is the answers list. And the index would, of course, be the current value of index. I don't know if I can just type that, actually. Ooh, maybe not. Yeah. So whatever the current question we're on, basically, that's the answer that we want. So we're going to compare those two. So we'll drop in whatever the user selected from the ListPicker, and we'll try to compare that to the actual correct answer in the answers list. So if it's correct, then we want to go ahead and echo success out to the user, and if it is incorrect, we want to inform them that they chose the wrong answer. So let's go ahead and jump over and demo this in the companion. So we'll go ahead and choose an answer, and let's go ahead and choose Jennifer Lawrence first, and it tells us that we're incorrect, so that's good. But if we choose Tom Hanks, it's correct, and we can move forward. So you might notice that's kind of bad design so far, because every time I pull up the ListPicker, like, it's pretty much question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. So it's not really hard. Plus, we have 3 guys and a girl, so some of the answers are obviously very obvious. So in the next video, we'll look at how to complicate that just a little bit, how to kind of change that up and make it a little bit more difficult or intriguing for the user.